I'm not quite sure what inspired that. I just turned on the camera and Windy and Warm popped out, or something resembling Windy and Warm. It kind of took off on a few little tangents, but that's the way to play the guitar, is kind of loosely and freely and make it up as you go and change things around. I got a whole bunch of announcements, but I'm going to talk about this thumb pick and what it kind of inspired me to do. I'm going to get back to that story, why all of a sudden I had it on. No, I'll tell you part of the story first, then I'll get to some of the announcements, and then I'll play a few things for you, show you what I've been working on. It is February 6th, Friday. First Friday in February. And we wrapped up the 3-minute 30-day challenge, and we have a couple of new winners. We had N Crump 93, who has been one of our campers before, who brought a guitar to camp that he built. Very cool, first guitar. And now he's going to get a set of Santa Cruz strings to go along with his collection of strings. So he was the week 4 winner. And our grand prize winner is pghbill. So Bill will be hearing from me, or if you haven't already, depending on when you see this, if you even see this. And we'll be setting up a lesson if you like. All expenses paid through Zoom so far. And anyway, so congratulations. And I got to remember to do the 3-minute thing at least once every few months, because it really is pretty fun. So let's see. Oh, we had a couple of new lessons. Nesh got us a lesson. We had Air Supply. I think I might have mentioned this last week because it had been up for a little while. Lost in Love, but then pulled one way out of the archives that when I first heard that this was coming up, The Last Farewell by Roger Whittaker. I thought, wow, I can't place that one. It's from the early 60s. And when I looked at a video of it, it's like, oh, I do remember that melody, and I can't remember it now. But so anyway, really encourage you to check that out. Interesting lesson that Nesh put together for us on that. And let's see, what else? The big news is, which do I want to get to? Oh, no, the first little piece of things I want to, this is sort of relates to next Saturday's TG Live, where I'll be talking about arranging songs, and I'll be looking at some songs that I've probably already done, and the thought process goes through them, but a few others that people have suggested. There was a great suggestion. This is dangerous. How are we going to do that? It's a D minor chord with a G in the melody. Oh, it's an A in the melody. Same thing, that's D minor with a G in it. It's a B in the melody, right? Oh, that'd be nice. That's an A. Suggestion on all of me that might be a good one. It's probably a little more complicated than I want to start with for this for chapter 1 of working on instrumentals. But what I do want to talk about is that people ask me sometimes how to find like my arrangements of tunes, my solo arrangements. And so when I put together a thing like my arrangement of "I'll Be Back," that is not going to be listed under Beatles, because under Beatles, it's how they really played it. And there's got to be 50 or 80 Beatles songs, probably more, that are the way they were on the record. But like when I take arrange "I'll Be Back" or "Blackbird" or I haven't done "Black Orpheus," not a Beatles song, obviously, either. But those get put under me as the artist or the arranger. And the best way to find those is, on the left-hand side of our menus, you can search for things by artist or difficulty. I think maybe that. Instrument, genre, all that stuff. under genre, one of them is fingerstyle arrangements. And that's where, I just checked that a little while ago, and that's where there are 87 different instrumentals. And it includes some by other people, Doug Young, Muriel Anderson. So that's the secret path to looking for arrangements of stuff like, like Ferry Cross the Mercy. That was one I did a long time ago, right? Or not, that was 4 or 5 years ago, probably. The most recent one was, there were 2 recent ones. The Beatles one, I'll Be Back, and The Windmills of Your Mind. So, if you're interested in looking at some of my arrangements, and other people's, fingerstyle arrangements under genre is where they're all kept. So, and so that brings me to, I want to remind you about the next Saturday, the 14th, at 11 o'clock Pacific time, we'll be having TG Live, and I'll be going through, hopefully, 3 or 4 different songs. And some will be ones you've heard me play probably before. Some, I have 1 or 2 stashed away that I are going to be surprised. They're ones I have not done arrangements on yet, but I'm going to encourage you to put your own together with some of the tips and guidance that I'll have. I'm probably going to talk about this one too. So you've probably heard me play that before, and I have an acoustic snapshot up of Running Through the Weight, but I haven't put together a lesson on it at all yet, and that was one, I think, back a few months ago when I did that. I was talking about, generally, you don't need to put in as many verses as there are in the song, but as I did with I'll Be Back, made it pretty much just about as long as they did, and did the same thing with The Weight. It felt like all 5 verses were different enough, and that's an important part of arranging, is you want to know the words to the song, because sometimes the way words are phrased or syllables are phrased in one verse is not the same as the next verse. So, okay, I think that's most of what I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about the thumb pick and something that kind of, let's back up. The 3-minute challenge was really is kind of designed to just get you back in the habit of playing. And sometimes that's a really good time to review really old stuff. And there are a couple songs that, having broken my nail recently, it's just about back now and stuff. I was playing a lot more stuff with the thumb pick, particularly because these John Renbourn pieces. That was My Dear Boy. Anyway, without the punch that I can get from my thumbnail, I was practicing that with the pick. And also Another Monday. Anyhow, that reminded me that there were a couple of tunes that I haven't played in a pretty long time. One of them that popped into my head was Bluesland. And there's a really odd technique that happens in Bluesland that the first time I tried this with a pick, I thought, oh shoot, that's not going to work. And this was just a couple days ago. Let me think about this. So for the first part of the song that you're going to hear, it really is helpful to be able to get more out of the bass. Then there's this part where I got to drag my thumb across 3 strings. Wow, that's the answer. When I tried to do that with the pick, it didn't work very well. Because the pick files off. You can't really use a thumb pick and drag it across the strings. At least not this kind. There are other ones that I guess I could hang on to it. Okay, but I just realized too that I could do that drag. So I can. I'll play a little more. How's it end? Oh yeah. Anyway, so it's sort of fun to kind of resurrect bluesland. And in the past, there have only been a couple of songs that I almost always played with a thumb pick, regardless of what kind of shape my nail was in. I haven't resurrected this one yet, but one of them is this. In order to get through Pipeline, I don't think I can do this. This is dumb. Anyway, in Pipeline, I really wanted to have the pounding of the bass. And just yesterday, it occurred to me that another song I always felt like I needed the thumb pick on, and I hadn't played in years. I had to dig up the music. And I have a lesson on this. It's 11 pages of music. And I remember there's an intense thesis almost that somebody put together on at least every line, if not every measure in the song, because there are so many different things going on in there. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and see. I have most of the parts of this reorganized, but not always the exact order. Anyhow, so this is what the 3-minute challenge got to me. It got me to try to resurrect a song I hadn't played in years and I had totally forgotten about. Let's see. Oh, this is dumb. Let's see what happens. Whoa. Where there's these E's in the bass on the D chord, but that's how Steve did it. Something like that. I gotta brush up on that run. You can breathe a little bit. At least I can. classical guitar chords that he stole. Well, it's kind of coming together. I might have to get that back in the repertoire over the next couple of years. Got to fine tune that. That is, of course, Clap by Steve Howe from the Yes album, 1971. In case some of you are wondering, what the heck is he trying to do? Don't ask me again. I'll see you next week.